is Angelo Shushain ASMR, and I always loved when he would burn. He'd take like a matchstick or whatever, and he would burn the shoelaces, and the sound of that always just drove me crazy in a very sleepy kind of way. That sort of like really close flame sound. Okay. So like I said, one of the things that I was thinking about doing in terms of a theme or whatever would be books. They've all got, these covers on them, and they've all got the sort of hard inside. I figured it might make a good one. This is my favourite architect. I think his stuff is incredible. He was pretty famous around the late 1800s, early 1900s. Lived in England, mostly. But he was sort of responsible both for pioneering the arts and crafts architecture style, which was hugely influential at the time, and still is today. And like a lot of houses in my hometown where I grew up were designed, inspired by this guy. I just love his stuff. It was all about designing from the inside out. And you could say that a number of sort of pop-up ideas and design principles like garden cities kind of stemmed in a way from this free form design. Tall have a good sleep.